We've all been there. We could be using the right products, we could be using the wrong amounts, maybe we're applying them in the wrong order, maybe we're neglecting certain parts of the hair. So, you finally got your hair care routine down pat. You've been watching a ton of videos. You finally found the right products for your specific hair care type. That is absolute key, but you still are not seeing the amazing results for long, luscious, gorgeous, beautiful hair. So let's talk about the first thing, common mistakes that the average person makes, including myself along my hair care journey. My gosh, it's been years and years of learning about the right products, the right order, how much to apply. And I think those are the key points. Are you using the right products? How much of the product are you using? Are you applying it correctly? The amounts, the right orders, and are you neglecting certain parts of the hair? Because I'm telling you, all of this I've learned along my hair care journey, and they all play a super intricate role, meaning they're all super important. Number one, using the right amount of product. More isn't always better. More in the sense of the amount that we're using of a certain product, or the amount of products we're using, because that all leads to build up, and then we need more clarifying shampoos. And if you're not using the right type of clarifying shampoo, or you're using it too often, you're stripping your natural oils from your hair. And of course, we know our scalp is where all the magic begins. Number two, the order. And if you think this isn't important, then study skincare, because of course, scalp is skin. We always need to pay attention to the sequence, because we want to go from the lightest to the heaviest, and this really does make a difference. If you're a skincare enthusiast, you totally understand this. And then number three, neglecting a certain part of your hair. It could be one of the three. I always break it down into three parts. There's three parts. There's our scalp, like in our root area, our mids, and then our ends. We need to pay attention to all three areas of our hair to have long, luscious, beautiful hair. So if you're ignoring any one of these three parts, you may not be seeing the results that you really deserve to be seeing, because you're putting so much effort into your hair care routine. So let's go through step-by-step use for long, luscious, gorgeous, beautiful hair that you are going to obtain, or you're going to maintain, depending on what stage of your hair care journey you are currently on. So number one, shampoo. We always want to focus on our scalp only for shampoo, and we want to focus on a few different things. Are you using the right shampoo type for your hair? Are you using the right amount of shampoo? And are you using it the right way? So we broke it down into three parts. And number one, I cannot use sulfates. They are way too harsh on my scalp. You may not have a sensitive scalp, but you may be washing your hair often because your hair gets greasier, so you do want the sulfates. Just make sure they're not really harsh sulfates, if indeed you want to still use sulfates. And I'm gonna say it's a pretty excellent video. I'm gonna link it below, because I researched pretty much all the sulfates, and I also researched all the sulfates in hair care, of course, and shampoos, and then I also researched sulfate alternatives and how they work. And the alternatives are usually amino acid based, coconut based, so on and so forth. So I'll link that below, and I think it's a really informative video. I really delved pretty deep into that, just because it's a personal concern of mine, since I cannot use sulfates at all. And the only way you can kind of determine if you can use sulfates, unfortunately, is really trial and error, or you just don't want to use them at all and just kind of delve into sulfate free. That's fine as well. But if you're really not sure, like if you should be using them, if they irritate you at all during application, I just wouldn't use them. If you wash your hair often, I really wouldn't use them, because you are just really wiping away a lot of your natural oils. Number two is conditioner, of course. How do we use it? How much should we be using it? What type should we be using? So again, we're breaking it down pretty much in the three same categories. Type of conditioner depends on your hair type. Is it basically, you've got the three: the fine, the medium, and the thick and coarse and curly. So I would definitely choose the conditioner based on that. But the additives, which are like color, protect, repair, when you get into the deep conditioner, like the masks, into bond treatments, if you have damaged hair, so on and so forth. So you're going to choose the proper conditioner based on your specific hair type. And again, it's trial and error, because as we get wiser, our hair does get finer. So I've pretty much had a mixture of hair my whole life, and then of course as I get wiser, I'll have less of the thick hair. Still a lot of hair, but it'll be on the finer side. So my hair really enjoys masks that are on the lighter side, and I love Pureology shampoo and conditioner. I can't use their masks. Their masks are luscious and gorgeous, but much too heavy for my hair. Now, how much should we use? And this is super interesting. Once again, more is not more when it comes to conditioner. And I did a little experiment pretty recently. I put extra conditioner, I think it was actually a mask, on my hair. I left it on for longer, and honestly, the results were not better for me. My hair doesn't like it. My hair likes lighter weight conditioners and masks. I'm putting it in the same category because, of course, masks are just supercharged conditioners. My hair didn't like it, everybody. It was really weighed down, and it was like overly softened. And if you've seen some of my last videos where I talk about the protein moisture balance, it is a real thing. Read the instructions at the back of your products. If the products are not professional and they don't have instructions, I probably wouldn't be using them in the first place. But the people that have created these the formulations, they know what they are talking about, okay? So if the product says leave on for 3 to 5 minutes, and you're leaving it on 20 minutes, and you're adding a shower cap to retain all that moisture, your hair is going to be overly moisturized. And yes, you can have an overload of moisture, you can have an overload of protein, and I did do a separate video on this. I will actually link that one below because it was super interesting. I had AI analyze my hair just visually, obviously, because AI, the only thing it can't do is actually have a physical experience, but can have a visual experience. So what AI did was analyze, you know, the shine, the texture, the movement, but I would not 100% rely on AI. My stylist is an educator. I will ask them to make sure that the hair is balanced with protein and moisture. So a professional will look at it, touch it, feel it, so on and so forth. And then I always ask for product recommendations, because when in Rome, I always like to switch up the products. So going back to the conditioners and the masks, read what it says at the back, follow the instructions, because you don't want a protein overload, which is going to make your hair, protein gives your hair strength and structure. So you have an overload of that, it's going to feel too stiff and it won't have any movement. And moisture gives it that bounce, that beautiful movement, and that shine and smoothness. So if you don't have that, you're going to have the opposite of that. So it's really about the balance. Number 3, leave-in conditioner, which is super important to this routine, to having long, luscious, gorgeous hair. I talk about this all the time too. So leave-in conditioner, you're re-moisturizing your hair after you've washed it out. So you've shampooed, you've conditioned, you may or may not have masked, and then you are just adding in that moisture. So this is one of my favorites. It's the Color Fanatic 21 Essential Benefits. It's the multitasking. I don't utilize it for, like, I mean, I don't buy it for all the 21 benefits. These are added. What I want it for is a leave-in conditioner. What I mean by the added benefits is it has a little bit of heat protection, it has a little bit of UV protection, but I use separate things for those things, like separate products. What this is going to do is replenish all the moisture that we have just washed out of our beautiful hair. How much should we be using of this, and how should we be using it? This should be used on a damp hair, starting from the ends and then working your way up into the roots to really avoid that overload on the roots, because we don't want, look, for a couple reasons. I always talk about, like, this area should be kept super clean. That's because this is where our hair grows, and we want to have like a beautiful lush garden for it to grow, like a beautiful bedrock or soil, so on and so forth. And number 2, why would we be overloading this with product? Just our hair will look more flat and greasy. So you do want to go root to tip, but you want to apply tip to root, and it should be on damp hair. And no, I would not use this every day. I use it only when I wash my hair. For the rest of the days of the week, I allow my natural sebum to really get in there and give my scalp what it needs, and then the rest of the hair is getting oils. It's getting UV protection if it's hot, because we all know that the sun breaks down the proteins in the hair, and we don't want that to happen. I also did a video on that one. I'll add a few links below so you guys can watch them. They're short, they're concise, they have a lot of good info though. And I just focus on the ends for the oil. So let me oil my ends now and show you the amount of oil that I will use. Application should always be based on what the instructions say. So this is Olaplex 7 bonding oil. This is very potent. This is very concentrated. So I only need 1 to 3 drops. An alternative to oiling my ends could be the Kerastase 8-hour a night serum. I wouldn't use both together. Is it causing harm to your hair? It's just not what the instructions say to do. So for some people, it won't bother them. For some people, it'll feel too heavy. So again, we don't want to weigh down the hair. So for this purpose here, I will just use my oil for tonight, and then tomorrow I can go ahead and use my serum from Kerastase, which I just reviewed as well. So 1 to 3 drops or pea size, and again, we're going tips, not to roots, starting at the tips and moving up. And this is extremely light oil. We are sealing in the moisture. We are smoothing out our hair. We're protecting it from frizz. And the key here is that we're locking in the moisture. There you go. Super lightweight, beautiful oil. Now, the more concentrated your oil is, the less you're going to need. So this little bottle here has lasted me a very long time. If you don't use an oil that's as concentrated, like it's very fine, then you're going to need more. I absolutely love and adore my cold pressed grapeseed oil. I use that before I wash. I use it different times during the week. You need a little bit more of that product because it's so lightweight, but it works completely differently. This is a bonding repair oil, and I really enjoy it. I like how it's so lightweight, and literally I do not feel it in my hair. Number 5 is styling products. Again, this depends on how you're going to style your hair. For me, example, all summer long, I like to do loose braids while I sleep. And then today, the humidity is so high that I actually got an alert on my phone that there's an extreme humidity warning. So what I like doing on these days is my hair is freshly washed. It was washed yesterday. I'll sleep with my braid, and then I'll just have loose waves without any other styling done to it. Now, when I did my braid, I did a blast blow dry because I always do blast blow dry. Even if it's super hot and I feel like air drying my hair, which I really don't do anymore, I will still give myself a partial blast blow dry. Before the blast blow dry, I like this big blowout from Redken. This is a heat protecting jelly. Now, how do we layer this? How does it work after we've washed our hair? We've washed, we've conditioned, we've masked, we come out of the shower, and now we're using our leave-in conditioner. After our leave-in conditioner is there, and this is a separate point, but it's super important. You want to leave a couple minutes. I mean, you don't need to layer everything on so quickly. Let it absorb. I like to leave a few minutes, and then I will go in with my Redken Big Blowout. It's a heat protector, and you literally go back to a pea size, everybody. You need very little of this, and that would be my last layering before I blast blow dry. And this section is really about protection and growth. The first thing I would do is every night I massage my scalp. I do it for 3 minutes. I set my phone, and it has actually become one of my favorite times of day because really helps me with my anxiety and it just feels really calming and really relaxing and really beautiful on my scalp. I actually look forward to this time of day now, and I'm always flipping upside down. We want to get as much vascular dilation as possible. We want to get that blood flow going, and you know what? It just really feels really great. And don't be alarmed if your hair feels a little bit more tangled once you flip up. That's totally normal. It happens to me all the time too, but your hair actually feels thick and luscious afterwards. I absolutely love doing this. If you can't do it every day, just start doing it a couple times a week. Also for protection, silk pillowcases, my absolute fave, and I'm combining that with the protective hairstyles. So I always sleep with the pineapple bun, I sleep with the silk pillowcase, and I find number one, it's super comfortable. It took me years. When I was younger, I used to sleep with like low buns, and it was so uncomfortable. So I either do a pineapple bun up here or a braid, and I find that that is super comfortable to sleep in, and also my head slides because of the satin pillowcase. Very easy adjustments, guys. And for my pineapple bun, I use a silk scrunchie, but you can also use velvet. Silk, just it feels better for me. And as I'm putting my hair in my pineapple bun, of course, I'm doing a gentle brush. Do I brush my hair every day? No, especially if I'm wearing it in a style like this. So this is my fresh wave from yesterday. If I brushed it out, it would look pretty awful. Am I gonna brush it out before I wash it again? Absolutely. And I'll do it a couple times, but it depends on the style you're wearing your hair. For those of you out there who have beautiful wavy curly hair, you're not brushing your hair every day, right? So it depends. Like, hair type is everything. Hair type should really be steering your routine in every single direction, okay? Last section here. For long, luscious, gorgeous, beautiful hair, we've touched upon these, so this is really a recap of timing and products. Products, lightest to heaviest, same thing we do for our skincare. Like I mentioned, you want to go in with your leave-in conditioner, your heat protector, blow-up cream. You might have a couple different options for this, and then seal everything in with your moisture. This is during a wash day, but then every day I would always seal in the moisture in my hair. So I oil. You can either oil like in the daytime or in the evening. If I'm working from home, like I'm not filming, I'm not doing something outside, I just really like oiling how I did right now in the evening. Right now it's magic hour, so I'll be doing my evening skincare routine probably in an hour or so. So I like doing that in the evenings. But of course, you could do it in the daytime to smooth out your hair, and you're gonna see you're not even gonna want to brush it after because it looks so gorgeous. So once again, the layering here for wash day, and then on a daily I would just add the oils. Okay, last point is the overload. So for me, I'm the queen of a minimalistic hair care routine, so I'm the first person to say in general don't overload. But look, a lot of people, they enjoy using a lot of different products, or they have the hair type that requires a mousse, a gel, a this, that, and the other, and they love how their hair works with that. Then I would say monitor it, and if your hair feels greasy within a few hours, then you may be using too much product for your specific hair care routine or your specific hair type as well. So remember, it's not a one size fits all solution. So anyone that's trying to sell you that, again, they're just trying to sell you like a specific product or routine, because there is no way that everybody could use the same routine, the same products, and the same amount of product. Like, I had to learn that products that I love just didn't work for me. They were too heavy or not moisturizing enough, because the key, once again, is that moisture protein balance. And if your hair is soft and smooth and has bounce, but it has structure and strength, like all of these things I'm going to put here, once you have all of those things, you know that you have balanced hair. So continue that, which you are already doing if it's working. So there you have it, everybody. The right products, the right amount, and the right time. And I definitely think everybody is capable of having the best hair of their dreams, of their lifetime, for their specific hair type. Our hair is all gonna look different because we are all so different. I hope this was helpful to you all. And if you have any additional inquiries, product inquiries, or anything else, please leave them all in the description box below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.